Hey everyone, Chris Harden here. Today I'm announcing the release of Ollama Game Cards. It is an AI-based generator of PDFs that you can use. You can print and play game cards at home. And in this case, this generates trivia game cards. And I'm going to walk you through the process, but before I show you how it works, let me show you what you get. So this here is an example of a Spider-Man trivia game that I generated with it. And it's somewhat under 100 trivia cards, and then this is the back of it. And so the trivia questions as well as the imagery have both been generated by artificial intelligence, and I'll show you a little bit about how it works here without getting into too many details, but you can download it from my repo, Chris A. Harden, Ollama Game Cards. You'll need to have a few things installed, which I'll tell you about in a few minutes. But at a high level, the way it works is it's Python, so you'll need to at least have Python installed, and there's a requirements file you can use to install everything. And you'll also need to install Ollama and the 3.17 billion parameter large language model from Meta that's available for free. So I recommend that you do have a GPU on your laptop, your gaming laptop or your computer, so that when you run this, it can use the GPU from that card. And it actually just takes maybe a minute or two tops, depending on how many questions you ask for. It can actually be within half a minute or so. So anyway, it runs Llama 3.1, and what Llama 3.1 does is it generates the trivia questions for you. You can do just questions, just answers, or you can do question and answer cards, which is what I'm going to show you today. And then if you want to, you don't have to, but if you want to, you can also generate images. And I use, in this particular version, Stable Diffusion XL, and it goes through an interface called ComfyUI, which you can also install, and it will have you install the Stable Diffusion XL model, which is also free for use. So those external systems are Llama 3.1. Also, Ollama is an external system. I need to update this README to show that. ComfyUI and Stable Diffusion. The rest of it is all just a Python application that has a user interface, as well as that it uses FPDF, which is a library for generating PDFs. It has a GUI for configuring your files, and it also has the ability to load up different fonts. So let me show you how it works, and then I encourage you to download it and try it yourself if you happen to be interested in seeing how AI can be used for stuff on your local computer. So what you see here is the actual GUI. It has the ability to open a bunch of different sample files. So I'm going to do one with Spider-Man, but I've got Dog, Harry Potter, Marvel, SpongeBob, whatever. There's also some generic ones you can use to get started if you want to make up your own game. And in here you put in things like what is the content, what is the title, because that's going to be at the top of the card, what font you want to use or fonts you want to use. And then the card back also has a title, and it's going to be set default for this particular demo. I'll do a video later that shows how you can run Stable Diffusion to generate the image. But if I were to set this to true, it would try to reach out to ComfyUI, and it would use this little prompt here that I've got for making the image that you saw on the back of the Spider-Man cards. And if you just say, no, actually I want to just give it an image that I like, then you can just put it into the path right there. And then there are different config files as well. I happen to have the 2.5 by 2.5 cards, but there's others in here too that you can use. And I'll kind of show those to you here in just a second. Or I'll try. Let's see, if I start at star, we'll get us there. Oh, those are the ini files. Silly me. Okay, so PDF layouts. All right. So I have 2.5, 2.5. I also have standard poker card sizes. And this is a portrait layout. I realized I could also do it in landscape and get a couple more cards per page. For now, I'm not going to change it. So you have the ability to choose from a couple of different templates, or you can build your own. Okay, so I'm going to run this real quick. And you'll see down here there's a little log that's telling you what's going on. It's currently sending the chat over to Llama 3. And this is going through Ollama, as I mentioned before, while it's baking. It's actually over here going through Ollama, and it's talking to Llama 3.1 right now. And let's go Task Manager. I'll show you how that's looking on my GPU, just in case you're interested in that aspect of it. You can see it started talking right here to Llama 3.1 on my NVIDIA. And I've got, I think I got a 4th generation RTX card here. So it's not really taking much of the GPU space, but it is definitely using the the CPU space, but it's definitely using the GPU. So you have to have a decent card to run these. It looks like it actually had an error. I'll have to figure out what the error is. Okay, so in scrolling up and looking at the error, I see here that it can't find the file that I specified for the image. And I realized that I kind of fat-fingered this here. You see it's actually not the right name. So I'm going to go find that one real quick. Here is the images directory. There's a bunch of images that I generated earlier. Those are also in the GitHub. But the real name of the file is right here. It was actually one generated a while back, and I think I just made a mistake here and didn't update the image name. So let's try that again. But you can do some error handling here if you want, and then you can go again. It also automatically saves the file if you make a change, which is nice. So again, we're going back to Llama 3.1, and it's actually gone through, and it's done now because it was a fairly quick ask. It didn't have a whole lot going on, and I was not generating the image. That is set to false right now. So let's go look at the output file and see what that looks like. So output, and here's the Spider-Man trivia. Now the previous version I showed you up here, it was 100. I just did 9, so there's 9 cards for you. What it doesn't do is limit the back, so the backs are still set to fill out the entire page. So in the future I'll make it match the number perhaps. Normally what you do though is you just have one page and you just use that back over and over again if you care to print the backs. And you can print those in black and white or color depending on how snazzy you want to be. And I'll quickly show you my set here. If you look in the little video with my face, you'll see I have a set that I cut out, actually laminated those just for fun, but it's essentially all lined up. And so I've got my little cards here in case I want to have some trivia fun with the kids or what have you. But you can do that with, again, any format you want. Okay, so that is the introduction to the application. And if you want to start from scratch, you can go new and come up with a name. Let's say if I want to do something like, the only thing that comes to mind at the moment is Mary Poppins for some reason. So we'll do that. So, okay. So it puts all the information in here. Here's Mary Poppins, Mary Poppins. And notice it just says Mary Poppins imagery on the prompt for the image, which just should be okay, but if you can always be much more specific. This is actually the prompt that you would give to like a Mid-Journey or whatever you want. Anyway, you should be able to just run this. I'm going to change the card size though this time, and I realize now I've got a bug here. I should actually be having this directory go to the PDF layouts, so there's an opportunity for me to fix that. So I'm going to open that up. Now, the thing is, if you don't have an image and you don't really want to go and install, let's go back to the docs directory here. If you really don't want to go and install the, where's it at? Here. You don't want to go and install ComfyUI and Stable Diffusion yet. You're not interested in that. You just want to try Llama 3. Totally fine. What you can do then is just let the default card back, which I have in there for you. Just let it use that. So we'll run that real quick. It's only going to do 12 questions. I think I defaulted just to 1 page worth of questions, mainly because you'll figure out how many questions you want, and for the first user, you may not care to do more than that. All right, so generated Mary Poppins. Let me refresh this here. There's Mary Poppins trivia. So here's Mary Poppins' first name revealed in any Disney movie. It looks like it's often referred to, blah, blah, blah. And here's some Jane and Michael Banks. So yeah, it's kind of cool, right? So it's got the number of things. Here's an interesting little detail. I don't want to make this video too long, but I'll ask for a certain number. Llama 3 doesn't always give me the exact number, and I think that tends to be with token limits, but just tolerate that. Sometimes it'll give you what you need. This one gave me 8, 9, 10, 11. So I got 11 instead of 12. Is that a big deal? Not really. This is just a fun little thing, and I haven't got some iterative thing going on to get me to the exact number, so you can just consider that a soft bug. But that's what that looks like, and then the backs look like this, just a generic image that I put in there. And anyway, so that right there is Ollama Game Cards. The cool part, which I didn't really get into too much, and I'll do another video, is I worked entirely with Claude, Gemini, and ChatGPT, as well as Llama 3 itself, to code the entire project. And so I'll go more into that in a different video. But right now, you're more than welcome to go grab this, download it, try it out. See if you can make your own trivia cards or game and questions cards. If you want to do something different than trivia, you can have them separate. And let me know what you think. I'd love to get the feedback. Love to see what use cases you have. All the instructions are in here for, cloning the repo, installing the requirements. The README is really detailed. You can also run batch files if you want to, which I may do in another video in case you have like a whole bunch you want to generate at once, etc., etc. So thanks for listening. I'd love to hear your feedback.